Well, good Saturday evening, friends of the Leaf. Hope everybody's doing good. Um, Miss Emily and my wife, they've already settled down for bed, and I thought I'd take this uh, rare opportunity that I have to stop in and say hello. And I hope everybody's had a great Christmas, and so far has had a very wonderful New Year going on. We've had a good one. It's been extremely busy, had a lot going on. We've suffered everything from sick parents to computer issues, and I'll talk about a little bit of them, a little bit of both here in just a second. Um, but like I say, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I'm very, very far behind on videos, especially in the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna try my best to get caught up a little bit tonight, and hopefully can get back in the swing of things. Tonight, a little housekeeping. I'm gonna smoke a cigar with y'all. Just got this one in the. This one just came in today. Uh, Came in the mail, and it is a Romeo Julieta Medianoche, and just got this one in. This is the very first time I've ever smoked one of these. They come highly recommended, and this will be a very first. So I'm gonna get her cut and get a good char light going. But yeah, I hope everybody, like I say, hope everybody's doing well. I haven't been able to respond. I hadn't been able to type on any. I hadn't been able to respond to any comments, or been having to watch everything on an iPhone, and I don't know how to use one of those. But we had my wife's laptop, had a new hard drive put in it, and well, had a new hard drive put in her laptop. And so we got it back up and running last week. Actually, she sent it to a friend in Houston whose husband does computer stuff, and he redid it and got it up and going. I haven't replaced my laptop. My wife, Miss Emily, and myself are all using tablets basically for our internet access, and we have one laptop here at the house now. My wife's wanting me to go out tomorrow and look at Best Buy and look at getting another one. But really, we need the laptop to do the printer and stuff on. But now that I'm back up and running on this tablet, I can come in again and do things. And actually, it downloads the videos a lot faster than the laptop did. So I'm probably going to stay with the tablet. I may go out and look at one tomorrow. I don't know. It's so soon after Christmas. I hate to do it, but I'm behind on watching. For me not to watch, I've always said before, you know, I'm like several others have said, I always watch Guy Witherspoon's videos at night, and it's kind of as I've heard someone else, I think Pipe Pappy said he was kind of like our Johnny Carson. It used to be at night. It was our bedtime, nighttime. It's what we like to watch, and I'm behind on even those, which is so when I haven't at least done that at night, I'm very far behind, and I am. But like I say, we've of course went through the usual holiday, Thanksgiving and Christmas at work with a party catering and different things that we do, and certainly that takes away time, but both my dad and my wife's dad had illnesses right around Christmas. And of course, my dad has made a recovery. My wife's dad, as I've mentioned to y'all sometime before, is not going to get any better. He's got we thought it was Alzheimer's, and thought that's what his local doctor had said, but it's actually dementia, and found out that it's not in the beginning stages; it's at the high moderate stages. So we've had issues with him. He fell, couldn't get up. We went over to try to help him up, and of course had to call a friend. He wouldn't let the ambulance come, and anyway, we managed to get him up, and his lady friend came, and he lives at home alone, and it's not good. So his lady friend came over to stay that night with him, and of course got up the next morning, fell again. Well, we wound up with an ambulance there to get him. They took him to the hospital, and under this new Obamacare, if you are not, if nothing comes up on their test panel, if they run a urinalysis, blood test, whatever, then it's a little harder to get admitted now. You don't just get in the hospital and run tests anymore, not unless you're willing to pay out of pocket, and he didn't want to do that. Well, long story short, with his dementia, he wouldn't communicate with them. He just led us to believe that it was we thought it was a neurological thing, that he, couldn't stand, couldn't walk. Well, his knee is blown out and he needs a knee replacement. But, so they finally figured that out. So they took him to a skilled nursing facility, put him in there, and, he's been real unruly and threw fits. And I made this statement one day to a nurse. I don't know exactly what he said. Wish he was dead, or he was wanting to go home. Things were so bad, and he just said this, in saying it, he did not attempt suicide, but he said, I'm so sick of all this. If I had a gun, I'd just kill myself. Well, you don't say that to medical professionals, because they're bound by law to report it, and report it they did. And so the coroner, in Louisiana, the coroner has to deal with that situation, with any mental illness or that kind of thing. So he came and wanted him to go for a 3-day eval. And we had already told him this was likely going to happen, but if there was a good part of this 3-day evaluation, because the man's not crazy, he's got dementia, but he's not an issue as far as craziness. But with we were having problems under the new healthcare laws getting full payment out of what is Medicare, whatever, plus his Blue Cross supplement. But they said you have to be in the hospital 3 days in order for it to kick in and pay 100%. And we said, look, there is one bright side to this, is that you'll be there the 3 days, it'll kick in, it'll pay. We had him convinced. Well, anyway, his doctor was going to do let me back up a little bit. His doctor was going to do a physician's emergency commitment, which is a PEC. In Louisiana, the coroner can commit you against your will. Well, the PEC was fairly voluntary at that point, but he threw a fit and decided that he would kick his doctor, and he kicked him while he was laying in the bed, and his doctor also happened to be the coroner, and so he committed him. Well, long story short, he stayed in this eval facility for about 2.5 weeks. And then they ran more tests on him, did CT scans and that kind of thing, CAT scans, MRI. Anyway, that's when it showed up how far along that his dementia is, and it's actually showing up on the brain scan. And they showed us on there, and you can see where it's this white mass and it's not good. And they did not want him to go that he can't go home without supervised. Round the clock supervised being supervised 24 hours around the clock, and it has to be medical people. In other words, it has to be certified sitters. It can't be just, sister-in-law, brother-in-law. It's got to be daughter, that kind of thing, because he's a big man. You can't lift him, and with his fact that he can't walk and his dementia. So my wife spent a week trying to make arrangements for him to get to the VA home. And his lady friend, quote, decided they were going to play a power struggle. It seems that back in 97, he signed a power of attorney to her. And let me tell you, this power of attorney is as broad as any that I have ever seen. She tried to get him to marry her in the 90s, and he wouldn't do it. But let me tell you, with this power of attorney that she's got, she's got more power than a wife has. And she decided to play that card, and it just turned things upside down. So we said, look, you've got to come over here where the facility he was at, and we had a family conference. And they just basically said, look, you're responsible now. And they laid it out to her, who's responsible for this and she got to Checkin In, and that night and the next day, she was going to have him moved back to the facility he came from. Told them that she couldn't talk to my wife, only to talk to her. My wife couldn't find out anything about her dad. Under the HIPAA laws, she couldn't, said don't communicate with her, and she was really being a turd. And then apparently she talked to an attorney, and he explained to her just how much responsibility she had. So she upped. 2 days after she played this power card, she ups and has a lawyer and a judge revoke her power of attorney. So this was as of Friday, and it's my wife's now he can't sign a power of attorney because of the dementia. So we're going to get back on that Monday. We don't know where that's going to wind up, but so that wasn't a very pretty scene, and there were some words said and a bad deal, and of course I acted ugly, and so I called her some names, gold digger being the nicest of the names. But she has just been out to get everything. There's no telling what we're going to find, and she's been supposedly handling his finances for the last 5 or 6 years, and I think there's good possibility there's been money misappropriated. So we're just finding out all that. She had his keys to his house, his car, wouldn't turn them over, had his checkbook. I mean, it was a mess. And so we don't know yet what we're going to run into there. And then my dad, a couple of days after the first, I guess around the second, he had just been going downhill over the last 2 weeks or 3. And before that, just get to where he didn't have any energy. Now, he's 77 years old, but mind you, he still owns his own business. He goes to work every day. He's got 2 tractors. He has some acreage they live on. He's got his cabin in North Arkansas. He goes up there. He's on his tractor. He's, very active at 78 years old, and he got to where he couldn't even get out of the chair. And my mother kept after him to go to the doctor, and of course we did too, and he wouldn't go. I guess that must be that age generation. They're very stubborn. He was getting really pale. He just weak, wouldn't eat nothing. I mean, this guy would eat 200 or 300 calories a day. And then if he ate anything, he just wanted sweets, Reese Cups, Snicker bars. I mean, he just wanted nothing. So I guess about the 2nd of January, he went outside. He's got a Labrador dog, and he went outside to feed the dog and fell. And my mother was looking for him, couldn't find him. And of course, she called me, and my sister lives across the street from him. And I jumped up and was headed out there, and she called me back and said, well, we found him. He's fallen. He can't get up. The ambulance is on the way. So they get there, and ambulance beat me. I was at work, so I'm 20 miles from there. I get there, and the ambulance is there. And of course, he's fell, and the dog has knocked him down. He's covered him head to toe in mud. But he wouldn't go. He wouldn't let the ambulance take him. And he sat there the next night, and finally took him to the emergency room, and they got him in, and what had happened is he had such a bad kidney infection and had let it go. But the thing about it is, he had no signs of a kidney infection, but it dehydrated him to the point to where he just absolutely, his kidneys had shut down. Well, they were only operating at 50%, and the doctor said another couple of days, and he'd have probably wound up on dialysis. They weren't sure they were going to get him back. It took them a couple of days, and they came back. Didn't come back 100%, but they're happy with him. And so he spent a couple of days in the hospital, and he just now this week went back to work Thursday, and so he was excited. He went back to work and worked a half a day Thursday and about a half a day Friday, and his color's looking good. He's feeling good, but they said in the elderly, kidney infection can come on it can give so many different symptoms, and it'd like to run him crazy. But he had no normal symptoms of a kidney infection, bladder infection. But it depleted him so bad that it just messed him up for good. But he made a rebound, but they are stubborn at that age. They don't want him. He wouldn't go in the ambulance. Of course, he wound up in an ambulance. He had to be transferred from one hospital to the other by ambulance. But by that point, he was so sick he was willing to do whatever. So. Oh, this is a good little stick, y'all. It's I'm picking up some, just in the beginning, maybe some coffee and hints, and it's a little spice there, maybe some black pepper, and maybe some kind of a toasty. This is going to prove to be a good little stick. But I was going to show y'all my new humidor, but I think what I'll do is shut this video down. It's getting lengthy, and I'll come back and make another one. My son got me a new humidor for Christmas, and finally got it seasoned and got it stocked up a few days ago. And let me shut this video down, and I'll come back and do another one. But like I say, I'm gonna try to get back in the groove of things and throwing some videos up here and there, and certainly get back to watching and commenting. And I appreciate all of the private messages and things. And look, Alfred Henry Sims sent me Alfred, you sent me a message on Facebook, and I can't answer. I'm not hooked up to that new Facebook Messenger, and I'm just a little leery of doing that. I got to look into that a little bit before I decide to jump off and do that. It's asking that you give up some rights and things, and I'm a little hesitant of that. But anyhow, I hope you get to feeling better, and I know you're making a good bit of progress with that, and hope to see a video out of you soon. But anyway, let me get this one finished, and I'll come back and we'll do the new humidor tour. Y'all take care, have a good one, and as always, God bless you.